What's up? It's me, D.W.C, and today I'm going to be talking about the 2016 NHL Draft Lottery results. And last night was the draft lottery for the 2016 NHL Entry Draft this summer. So starting off, we're going to be talking about who won the lottery and how it went, basically, and then I'm going to be talking about my predictions for what player each team is going to pick with their draft pick. So the top five, we had Vancouver moving back from 3rd to 5th, Edmonton moving back from 2nd to 4th, Columbus moving up from 4th to 3rd, and Winnipeg moving up all the way from 6th to 2nd. And then you have the Toronto Maple Leafs holding on to their first overall selection, as I'm sure Leaf fans are going to be very happy with that after the dreadful year they've had. And then you have my Calgary Flames, after Winnipeg jumped them, moving back from 5th to 6th. Now, let's get into my predictions for each selection that I think each team is going to make. And first, we'll start with first overall with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think it's pretty obvious that they're probably going to go with Austin Matthews. He's projected to be the best talent in the draft, so they're probably going to go with him, but there is a chance that they could make a decision to go with one of the Finnish players, being Patrik Laine or Jesse Puljujärvi, as both of those players are also high-ceiling players with really good potential, but I assume that they'll stick to the majority of scouting reports and go with Matthews at 1. And then number 2, you have the Winnipeg Jets, and that will leave them either of the Finnish players. If they wish, they might go off the board. I highly doubt that, as I think they'll probably go with Laine or Puljujärvi. And my prediction is that they will probably go with Patrik Laine, as he's a 6'4" power winger with really good potential. He has potential to be a bigger Drumginla, Eric Lindros, anyone like that. He's got the big body, a lot of talent, great shot. So I think the Winnipeg Jets will go with him second overall. And then that'll leave Jesse Puljujärvi for the Columbus Blue Jackets in the 3rd overall spot. And I doubt that they will think twice about scooping him up in that 3rd overall spot, as he is another super good prospect with a lot of potential. And he was projected 2nd overall early on in the year before Laine started to power his way up the draft rankings. And then number 4, we have the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, Edmonton, here we are again, another year with a high draft pick for the Oilers. This year, they got to go with a defenseman, right? There's no way they don't go with the defenseman. Last year, okay, they went with McDavid. Obviously, you're not going to pass up McDavid. He's a once-in-a-generation caliber player. This year, they have to pick a defenseman if they don't trade away the pick for an NHL-ready defenseman. And the 2 top defensemen in this draft are Olli Juolevi, a Finnish defender from the London Knights in the OHL, 6'2" defenseman, and Jakob Chychrun from Sarnia in the OHL. He is also 6'2". So I think the Oilers will go with either of those 2 defensemen, possibly Chychrun, but also possibly Juolevi. I don't think either of those players would be a bad pick for the Oilers, sitting at the position that they are right now with their organization needing defensive and goaltending depth. I think that would be a solid selection for them. And 5th overall, we have the Vancouver Canucks, who got pushed back from their 3rd spot to the 5th overall selection. Now, I think the Vancouver Canucks also need some defensive help prospect-wise. I'm not sure that that's where they will go with this pick, though. Their defensive options would obviously be the other defensemen out of Juolevi and Chychrun that Edmonton does not select. But I think if they don't pick that other defenseman, they will probably go with Pierre-Luc Dubois, who is a left winger / centerman, 6'3", good size, and I think that'd be the option that the Canucks would go with. But there's also the option of them jumping up the board a little bit to go with Logan Brown, who is a 6'6", potentially could be 6'7" by the time he makes it into the NHL centerman. There's not many centermen that are skilled, that are that big in the NHL, so they could go that way. And there's also another 6'7" defenseman by the name of Logan Stanley, who's projected around the 10-11 spot. So they could jump up to one of those two players, but I think that they will probably go with Pierre-Luc Dubois or the other defenseman that Edmonton does not select. And since Calgary is my favorite team drafting 6th, I will also add in my prediction for them. Now, Calgary has fairly good center depth youth-wise with Monahan and Bennett, but winger-wise, we are lacking depth and size for our prospect pool, especially on the right wing. Our organization is really, in my opinion, lacking some right wing depth in the prospect pool, which is why I would like to potentially see them jump up the board a little bit and go with right winger Julien Gauthier, who is currently projected to be mid-round, around 13 to 15. Julien Gauthier is a 6'4" right winger with a lot of size and scoring ability, and I think that if the Flames jump up the board or trade and move back in the draft and go with Gauthier, that would be a good selection for our organization. However, I think the more likely possibility would be for us to go with Matthew Tkachuk from London in the OHL, who is a 6'1" left winger. Got a little bit of size, not too big, not small, decent size winger with scoring ability. Or Alexander Nylander, who was born in Calgary when his dad played with the Flames. He is a 6-foot tall left winger from Mississauga of the OHL, brother of obviously William Nylander of the Leafs. Very skilled young player. It's possible that we select him. And another outside option would be Jake Bean, a defenseman who played for Calgary in the WHL, as in recent years we seem to be acquiring a lot of players who are from Alberta and the Calgary region. So with him playing in Calgary in the WHL, there's a possibility of us selecting him. But like I said, I'd like to see us go with Julien Gauthier, as I think he's a good young player with good size. Probably won't happen though. So quick recap, we got the Leafs picking first. I'm going to assume that they're going to go with the consensus number 1 pick, Austin Matthews here. Then we got the Winnipeg Jets picking second. I'm thinking that they're going to go with Patrick Laine. Columbus Blue Jackets will have Jesse Puljujärvi left for them, and I think they will scoop him up. Then the Oilers, I think, have to select a defenseman, either Olli Juolevi or Jakob Chychrun. Vancouver Canucks, I think they will select Pierre-Luc Dubois or Juolevi or Chychrun, whichever one the Oilers do not pick, but they could also jump up the board a little bit and pick one of the bigger players that are both 6'6" and 6'7". And then we have the Flames picking 6th, who I think will probably go with Tkachuk or Nylander, but I would like to see them go up the board a little bit or maybe trade back and get Julien Gauthier. So that's my, I guess, recap of the NHL Draft Lottery and my predictions, very early predictions, as it's not even summer yet. We're not even really close to the draft. But my predictions nonetheless for the first 6 picks in the 2016 NHL Entry Draft. Now let's turn our attention back to the playoffs and see who's going to win the Stanley Cup and get back to all the draft-related stuff in the summer. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments on the Draft Lottery and predictions for possible selections in the comment section, and I will see you next time.